Hello, happy stampers. This is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, bringing you my hashtag simple stamping. Simply beautiful cards, simply made. I'm glad you could join me today. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't. I'm collecting subscribers, so I'd love to have you join me. And for the 22 new subscribers that I got last month, welcome. I'm so glad you've joined me. I hope to continue to be able to provide you with intriguing projects and tips and tricks that'll help you out along the way. So today's card, for the simple card, oops, let me get it. I set it down. Hold on. Best laid plans. You know, you try to always do everything right, and sometimes you goof. Okay, here is today's simple card. And let me show you what I used to make that card. I used the All Squared Away stamp set, each of these designs in 4 different colors. I used the pansy patch for the sentiment, a little hello from me to you. I'm going to be using the basic borders for the stepped up version, which I will show you. The checks and dots embossing folders, they're the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine folders, so they're the narrower ones, but they worked perfect for what I wanted to do today, and they're new in the catalog, in the new annual catalog. So I'm going to be using the polka dot one for the stepped up card. And then I'm going to also be using the round and square, actually I'm going to be using the square brads as well. So that's what I'm using for the stamp sets and such. Then for the colors, I am using Misty Moonlight, Cajun Craze, Soft Succulent, and Bumblebee. And the, yeah, that's what I'm using. And so I had to think for a minute. Okay, and there's that brad right there in the middle. So this is the simple card. Now I'm not going to make the simple card in front of you. I'm just going to kind of show it to you. And then I'm going to show you the stepped up version, and we'll put that one together today. And from that you will learn how this little design was made. I call it a pinwheel. I'm not sure that's what the design is called, but that's what I'm calling it today. So it's a pinwheel card. Okay, here is the stepped up version. So for this one, I also added some Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, and that's a sneak peek of what some is coming in the new mini catalog that goes live August 3rd, I believe. And so that's something new, but everything else is available in the current catalog. Okay, let's make a card. So as usual, I'm starting with a basic white thick base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to make it a typical A2 side fold greeting card. Then layer 1 is that wonderful Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, and let me show you, just to sneak peek it a little bit more. I'm allowed to show you some of the patterns. Isn't this, I just love this one. And then the back side, look at that. And then it's got this and this. Look at these. Aren't they just fabulous? Oh, fall colors. Look at that with some text in it, some script. That is just beautiful. This is the one I'm using today, the back side of the one, and then there's this one with that on the back. So lots of variety. So I hope you're intrigued and getting ready to possibly buy some new things. Okay, we're going to start by just attaching this layer flat. This is the easy part. Actually, it's really not very hard. And we'll see if I can't do it so that it looks easy to you too. Because it's kind of a cute card. You know, I set these out and I set them up on my desk and just look at them for like a day. Because sometimes I make them and I go, I don't know if I really like that. And so then I'll look at them for a day, and then sometimes they kind of grow on you. And so I think that's kind of what happened with this one as well. Okay, so there's my base card. We'll set that aside. I cut a piece of just plain old white copy paper, and this is cut 3 by 3. I stamped and cut the design papers. I'm going to have some more cutting to do. But here are the 4 pieces, and they're from Crumb Cake. And then they're embossed with that dots embossing folder. They are cut 4 pieces, 1.5 inches square. These are going to also be 1.5 inches square, and I need to cut them. So let's do that. I just stamped them as close as I could, and then I hand cut one edge, and so then I can put it on the 1.5 mark here. And there's my 1.5. There's that one. Probably not keeping that in the screen, but there you go. And there's that one. Let's do it this way first. That edge is a little bit crooked from my hand cutting. I'm gonna just take off just enough to square it up so that it's nice and square, because I want it to be nice and square. Okay. So yeah, the squares that you're stamping are slightly larger than 1.5, so you've got room to adjust and cut. It's going to be okay. And then this one. Okay, let me get my cutter out of the way. And then we have these 4 pieces as well. Now, I decided to keep an orientation of going in this direction, but obviously that's up to you. Now here's what I did to make this easier for me. This piece of paper helped me keep my edges straight. And so I started with this piece, and I'm going to put it down and match it up to the edges of this white paper, just like that. And the next piece is going to go in so that this point and this point line up with this edge. So I'm going to tuck it in here and line up that point and this point. So I'm going to bring it over just a little bit more so that this point and this point line up just like that. Okay, and then you can see where I need my tape or my adhesive is just in this one corner. So I'm going to put some adhesive on this corner, just right up there. Just don't need a lot, just a little bit to hold it together. So I'm going to put this back on, and then I'm going to tuck this back in, point here and point there, and then press it into place. There's number 1. Now the next one goes underneath, and it's actually going to be a square, and so I'm using that white copy paper to help me get this piece exactly where I need it to be, like that. And again, just under this one corner, that's where I need my adhesive. So I'm going to put some adhesive on this one corner, and we'll put this back. Takes a little bit of messing around, but not a lot. There we go. So it tucked under. The next piece is a crumb cake piece, and again it's going to tuck under, and again the point is going to line up from the center, and this point line up with this edge, this corner. So you just, and you can eyeball it. It does not have to be perfection, okay? It's going to come out, and you'll see that this is going to end up forming a square that's just been tilted slightly, okay? And so we need to get some adhesive in this corner. Sometimes it cooperates and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. And so I'm just being perfectionistic here, just like that. Then the next piece, this one, slides under and is going to line up to make another square, to add to the square that we're building, just like that. So I'm going to put tape in this corner. And I'm going to put that you can see again, I'm going to use that white paper to help me keep my square. There we go. There's that one. Then another crumb cake is going to slide under here, and so it's going to go like this. And so I need my adhesive in this little corner. And again, we're just putting those points in the same trajectory. Get my fancy words here. There we go. And then this one is going to tuck under and it's going to finish my printed squares. So I need a piece of adhesive right in this little corner. And I can just take and lay this down right like this. And then bring this in and line it up and press it down. And then the last piece is going to go under the green one and over the yellow one like that. And so I'm going to put a piece of adhesive here. Then I'm going to turn it over and carefully put a piece of adhesive there. And then I will tuck this in, get it in the right place. Line it up and press it down. And so this just helped me. It helped me. And then that's really up to you. Now, when they come together in the center, there's actually a little bit of room there, which is totally cool because that's where this brad is going to go. And I wanted the brad the same color as my crumb cake. So I brought in my dark crumb cake blends pen. These are the alcohol-based markers that Stampin' Up! Has, and they are permanent. They dry permanent on non-porous surfaces. So I use them a lot to color my rhinestones and my pearls to match something when I'm making a card, which really comes in handy. So I am taking this crumb cake marker, the dark one, and I am coloring the top of that. Can't really, I guess you can see it. It's crumb cake now instead of white. Isn't that cool? That is so fun to be able to do that with these pens. Okay, so then there's a little hole in the center from where I put it all together. Now you can have your square be square, or you could have your square be on an angle. I put mine square, and that can be adjusted after you've gotten it all attached. I took this, and after I got it in here, I brought my bone folder in and pressed it really nice and flat. And there is my finished piece. Oops, I forgot to slide that under. We don't want to do that wrong, do we? Let's fix that real quick. I did it backwards. Not sure how I managed that, but we'll fix it. Come on, we can do this. There we go. Not sure how I did that. That's funny. Okay. And so then I got a little bit of adhesive there to get rid of. You know, every once in a while, you need one of these. This is an adhesive eraser, and it will pick up adhesive from a place you don't want it. You can see I need to clean it up a little bit. I use the corner the most, and it helps pick up that adhesive that got put where you didn't want it. And let's make sure we get that just exactly where I want it. And we will put a little bit of adhesive on this one to hold it in place. Under this one, over that one, point in the middle, there. And then let's put a little bit behind this one. There we go. I got it right that time. Woohoo! Okay, sometimes. Okay, so there's my pinwheel. Now I attached this with dimensionals. So you learned something new. Now I don't know where I got this. It's some kind of a rubbery thing, and it works. It's called an adhesive eraser, and it works pretty good. So, you know, now you know. Something new, I hope. Get those, and then I'm going to put one right in the middle for support there. So let's get that all pulled off. And then we'll attach this to the card front. And I stayed to the top of the DSP, so I have room for my sentiment down below. Put that on there like that. Get rid of these little things. Okay, and then the sentiment. I wanted it to be something different, and so I've been playing around with the basic border dies. I don't think I showed you that one, but maybe I did. So I created this. There wasn't a die in my collection long enough for this particular phrase, and I didn't want it to just be square. So I decided to pull out that zigzag because I felt it like it kind of fit with this look. And I've done this in a previous video where I put it on the edge and cut away just a little bit and created that. Now I'm going to put it on again, and this time I am lining up the zigs, and I'll run it through and it'll create this little look. Then I took a sponge dauber and some crumb cake ink, and I inked the edges, and I stamped the phrase a little hello from me to you with the misty moonlight to just kind of carry that through. And so there is the stepped up version of my simple card. Get that here. There we go. There's the stepped up version. Oh, I can add the sentiment to that later. So there is the stepped up version and the simple version. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope there was some kind of a little trick or tip in there that you hadn't thought about before. And if there are things that you want to learn from me or see me do, give me a shout. Just put a comment below. Let me know what you think, and we'll try to accommodate you. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Oh, and by the way, I have a link to my online store in the description box below. So if you don't have a demonstrator or aren't a demonstrator, you can shop through my online store and get all the supplies to make these beautiful cards. Thanks again for stopping by.